A peaceful morning shattered. The old house in the Irish countryside was usually peaceful, but today the atmosphere was heavier than usual. Jamie Dornan sat in the living room, holding a cold cup of coffee, looking out at the garden covered in morning dew. Outside, Amelia Warner, his wife, was cutting flowers, trying to keep calm. She heard the news again. A new post on social media: Dakota Johnson and Jamie Dornan, friendship never ends? People were talking about them again. Memories that Amelia had tried to bury for years came flooding back. Why won't they let us go? She wondered. But that was also a question Jamie couldn't answer. When the name Dakota became a shadow, there was no denying that Dakota Johnson was an important part of Jamie's career. Together, they made history with 50 Shades of Grey, the film that made him famous for his role as Christian Grey, the perfect lover in the imagination of millions of viewers. However, that halo also has a dark side. Since the last film, every time Jamie appeared at any event, the question was always repeated. Are you still in touch with Dakota? Do you think you two will reunite on screen? Is Amelia jealous? At first, he just laughed it off. But as the years passed, he realized that each question was like a needle stabbing into his family happiness. Amelia, though strong and understanding, was still a woman with a broken heart. She never blamed Jamie, but the look in her eyes when she heard that name was enough to make him feel guilty. I just want peace. That night, after the children had gone to bed, Amelia sat at the piano, her fingers gently moving over the keys. A sad melody played, a song she had written in the early years of her relationship with Jamie. He walked in, standing quietly behind her. Are you reading the news again? Jamie asked softly. How can I avoid it? She replied without turning around. Everyone is talking, every page is talking about her. And you know, I'm tired, Jamie. I don't want to hear her name anymore. Jamie didn't answer. He walked over and put his hand on his wife's shoulder. I'm sorry, I really am, but I can't control the media. Amelia looked at him, her eyes sad but no longer angry. I know, but at least, you can't mention her to me, even by accident. At that moment, the room fell silent. Only the unfinished piano music remained. Jamie felt his chest tighten. He knew Amelia wasn't jealous, she was hurt, because the name had become an old scar that the press kept touching. A reminder on the red carpet. A week later, Jamie was invited to the premiere of a new film. The first question from the reporters, of course, was about Dakota Johnson. Jamie, what do you think of Dakota's new project with Sam Heughan? He just smiled slightly. Good luck to her. But today, I'm here to talk about my film. Outside the auditorium, Amelia stood next to him, her eyes calm but her hands still clutching her handbag. She hated it, hated having another woman's name appear in every moment with her husband. That evening, when Jamie returned home, he went online and saw the headline. Jamie Dornan repeats Dakota's name with a fond smile. Amelia is right next to him. He hung up immediately, but it was too late. Amelia had seen it. Jamie, she whispered, you don't have to smile when they mention her name. I'm just being polite. Sometimes, your politeness hurts others. What no one knows. Deep down, Jamie knows. All Amelia's hurt comes not from Dakota, but from public opinion. Since their marriage, Amelia has always been the one behind the scenes, silently protecting the family while Jamie flies around filming, interviewing, attending events. The press always praises Jamie, but rarely mentions her, the wife who gave up the spotlight to be with her family. And every time Dakota Johnson's name appears, Amelia is pulled back to a past she never belonged to. I'm not jealous, Jamie. But I'm tired of people comparing me to her. I don't need to win. I just want to be myself. He hugged her tighter than ever. I promise, from now on, I won't let anyone hurt you again. Not even with words. A private conversation with the media. A few days later, Jamie sat in the small BBC radio press room. Before starting, he took the initiative to tell the group of reporters, "I just want to ask one thing, don't ask me about Dakota Johnson. I respect her, but I am a family man now. I don't want to bring up the past in an interview again." His firm voice silenced the room. One reporter smiled. "We understand, Jamie. Thank you for your honesty." When the interview ended, he received a text message from Amelia. "Thank you. I listened. I am proud of you." It was the first time in months that Jamie felt relieved. Mature love. Their marriage is not a fairy tale. It is real, with misunderstandings, fatigue, and times when they have to learn to be quiet in order to love more. Amelia is not a loud person. She loves to cook, compose music, and teach her daughter to see beauty in small things. Jamie, after years of chasing the Hollywood spotlight, now understands that peace lies not in fame, but in dinner in a small kitchen. He once said in a private conversation with a close friend, "Amelia doesn't need roses, she needs respect. And that starts with me knowing when to be quiet." When love is learning to forget the noise. One late summer evening, the whole Dornan Warner family gathered in the backyard. The children ran around. Amelia smiled brightly. Jamie sat beside her, watching his wife through the sunset. "You know," she whispered, "it's been a long time since I felt this peaceful." "Me too," he replied. "I've learned that not everything the public says is worth listening to." She put her hand on his. "I just need you here, not the memories." "I know, and I'm here, forever." That night, he wrote in his diary, "People may talk about Dakota, about the roles, about the aura. But when the night falls, there is only one woman beside me, who understands my silence better than my words." A lesson after the storm. As time passed, Jamie and Amelia stopped avoiding the press, and learned to face it. When asked about the past, Jamie simply said, "Dakota was a great colleague. But my life is here, with Amelia and my children." The answer was shared everywhere, and strangely, this time the public was silent. No more controversy, no more sensational headlines. Perhaps the audience realized that even celebrities need to have the right to forget the past. Amelia continued to make music, while Jamie chose projects closer to home. They were no longer the perfect couple in the public eye, but a real couple, who knew how to hurt, love and protect each other. The last message. In an interview with Vanity Fair, Jamie spoke slowly and softly. "I learned the most important thing: not everyone needs to know everything about you. There are stories that should be kept to yourself." The reporter asked, "Do you have anything to say to Amelia?" He smiled. "Thank you for your patience. And I apologize for the things you don't deserve to hear." Calm after the storm. A year later, the press rarely mentioned Dakota and Jamie together. Amelia was invited back to write a script for a movie, and Jamie and his wife went to the set. The paparazzi caught that moment, a genuine smile, not fake, not hidden. The caption under the photo went viral. "Finally, they found something Hollywood rarely has: peace." Love is not about not having a past, but knowing how to live fully in the present. Amelia forgives, not because she forgets, but because she believes Jamie has become a man who knows how to protect his heart, and hers too. And though the world still talks about Dakota Johnson, in the small house in Ireland, there is only the sound of children's laughter, the sound of the piano, and a whisper after the storm. "Please, don't mention her anymore. We've had enough. We're finally home."